Hello guys, and welcome to the thing I've been hyping up for the last 2-3 episodes. And again we have a costume change, because I've got to show them all off. Yeah, I like the look of that. One thing I haven't really been talking about the costumes, but you do get different costumes between Bayonetta and Jeanne. Bayonetta obviously gets her little black cape type thing, whereas Jeanne has her more formal red thing. I'll probably post pictures of the costumes sometime at some point. Haven't bothered yet. Now, everyone's favourite section of the game.
Me.
Now if you hit left bumper and left trigger, or L1 and L2 here, you will change the music.
Welcome to my fantasy zone. Get ready.
And I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the original normal playthrough, but that headset she had there does say headset intercom all along it in Demon script. And of course, we know by now, this entire 2 verses ahead of us is a huge tribute, rip-off, whatever, of Space Harrier, or Subesu Harrier in Japanese. The placement of enemies in this is pretty much exactly similar to what you would get in the original arcade version, Space Harrier, which was released in 1985. It's a pretty popular series and it has spawned a couple of remakes and a lot of sequels, such as Space Harrier 3D, which was released in 88 rather, Space Harrier 2, also 88, and the spin-off game Planet Harriers in 2001. It's kind of crazy to think that a game that recent had a spin-off. This game was originally made for the arcades. I actually am a little bit too young to remember arcades, so I'm not going to try and talk about them. But yes, this game was originally an arcade game, but it was released later on home systems. Space Harrier's release on the Sega Master System is notable as there were 2 different versions. One which was like the arcade version, and the other which was titled Space Harrier 3D, which was actually a sequel. Now, an intruder has penetrated your force field, which is a reference to an old game called Salamander. Just going back to the gameplay here, nothing different about playing this on Non-Stop Infinite Climax. I know a lot of people may have had trouble trying to get the trophy/achievement for this chapter, which is to get platinum awards or above for these 2 verses. It actually really isn't hard once you know the placement of everything. And for those of you who may get a bit motion sick, it actually is possible to do this without using the dodge at all. I'm just not very good at doing that. I wouldn't really know what the terminology is called, but you can sort of lead their shots away from you. So you just slowly move away from it. Yeah, I'm not very good at it. But it is possible to do this entire 2 verses without dodging and giving yourself a possible headache. Jeanne does not play differently at all in this section. It's similar to the motorcycle section in Route 666, in that you will get witch time normally just by dodging. And here you would normally get a witch heart, but I accidentally got that when I was finishing the other difficulties. Not that you guys would have noticed anyway. So back to Space Harrier, a little bit of, I guess, technical stuff about it. It was one of the first arcade games to use 16-bit graphics and Sega's, quote, superscaler technology that allowed pseudo 3D sprite scaling at high frame rates. It also introduced a true analog flight stick for movement with the ability to register movement in any direction as well as measure the degree of push. If this sounds familiar, that's because I ripped it off from Wikipedia. I am not going to write anything about Space Harrier because, quite frankly, I played the original and I did not like it. Anyway, analog sticks. They introduced the idea that you could push in any direction as well as to measure the degree of push. So this means that you could move the player character at different speeds depending on how much you push the stick. I think it's actually pretty neat given that I am not of that generation, so something that we take for granted these days that was pretty revolutionary at the time. One accessory you should have equipped for these chapters is the Eternal Testimony, the one you get for getting 50 tears of unburned tears of blood. It basically just gives you a constant stream of magic that you can use for the Wicked Weave missiles, and it's pretty important for doing massive amounts of damage. As far as I remember, the actual time limit on either this verse or the second verse is a little bit strict actually, and it's a bit difficult to actually get sometimes if you take too long on the inspired sections. One thing also about keeping your combo going, there actually are little, I suppose, bits of debris interspersed around the field that you can shoot, but I find that actually really hard to see, but you can actually use them to keep your combo going. Not that combo should really be an issue here. I believe I also mentioned this in the original normal playthrough, but if you actually manage to hit everything, kill everything rather, and not get hit, you will get a cool 1 million halos. I've never actually seen anyone do this though, so don't take my word for it. The official guide does say you can do that, as does other online FAQs, but I have never seen anyone do it. It's far easier just to grind it by playing a boss fight, honestly. Believe it or not, Space Harrier was actually an early example of a third-person shooter. It was actually influenced by an earlier 1982 Sega game called Buck Rogers' Planet of Zoom, and Space Harrier in turn actually influenced later 3D shooters such as Nintendo's Star Fox in '93. It's actually kind of recent. Well, 20 years recent. God, I feel old. As for the setting of the game, because we all know setting is important, Space Harrier is set in the Fantasy Zone, hence welcome to my Fantasy Zone. The Fantasy Zone is a surreal world comprised of bright colours and a checkerboard-styled ground. The enemies are also unique, featuring prehistoric animals, Chinese dragons and alien pods. The player is forced along the levels, running or flying around enemy fire, while shooting back with fireballs via the character's underarm cannon, which also doubles as a rocket-type device which allows a character to fly. Character graphics are sprite-based, though the level backgrounds are pseudo-3D. I think I did actually watch someone play through these levels with turbo or something on. It was kind of amazing how much they sucked with it, considering. No, not yet. You do get kinship that appear in this chapter, this verse, and they actually are a little bit annoying on non-stop infinite climax. It actually caused me to restart a couple of times. Because you see here, they'll shoot at you, dodge once, dodge twice, so you have to dodge a second time. Normally on lower difficulties you dodge once and you get witch time and you can fly through their lasers, but no, on non-stop you can't. So you'll get hurt by the second time, which I did multiple times and it really pissed me off. Now the arcade version of Space Harrier used digitized voices. Firstly, when starting the first level, for example, the player would be greeted with "Welcome to the Fantasy Zone, get ready." And after defeating a boss, the player was assured that "you're doing great." In total, the arcade version has 18 levels, each containing a boss at the end. There are a couple of exceptions to this, such as the bonus levels, which are the 5th and the 12th level, and the 18th level, which is just a boss rush. And I'm pretty surprised that I've managed to talk this much about what is basically something that I'm pretty sure most of you will skip. So if you're still listening, well done. To be honest, I'm not sure if the little egg angels here actually count towards the kill everything get 1 million halos thing. But I really hope they don't, because they're hard to shoot. One thing, if you do want to try and get that 1 million halo thing, is to not dodge. You actually just want to actually try and stream all those shots. And as I've said, I suck at it, so if you can do it, let me know. But if you do manage to get the 1 million halos, there's no sort of visual feedback that you got it, like a yay, well done. You just hear a little sound. I think it's the, I would guess maybe it's like the Platinum Award sound that you get when you finish Reverse, and you get 1 million halos added to your score. But yeah, really no clue about that, to be honest. This last boss of this verse is just really annoying because you can't shoot him during this stage of the fight. His fingers block all your shots, obviously, and then you have those egg angels shooting bullets at you. So the only time to really do massive damage is when he spreads his arms out, and on lower difficulties, when you dodge the laser, you can get a good amount of hits on him during the witch time. So we're gonna get ready for our fight with Jeanne. Doing something a little bit different here. And for once, no gaze of despair. Don't want that.
Bayonetta, time is of the essence. This can wait no longer.
I'm pretty sure back when I did the normal playthrough, some people complained that I probably killed Jeanne a little bit too fast, so this is to make up for it. I think it's actually pretty interesting because the platinum rank for time on Non-Stop Infinite Climax is actually 10.5 minutes, which makes doing this completely feasible. Now I do have Evil Harvest Rosary equipped, but as I did mention in that video where I introduced it, it's actually pretty useless with Jeanne. It'd be better if you used it with Bayonetta, to be honest. Now this is a pretty long fight, it's about 8 minutes long, so I suppose what I can do here is talk about Jeanne's strategies. Once you play this game enough, you will figure out her AI, and then from there it's pretty easy to figure her out. As you saw there, for example, if she's a distance away from you, she can do a couple of things. She can sweep a bunch of bullets at you, that sweep of pinkish red bullets, or she will lynx within towards you and usually follow up with a sword attack. Or sometimes she'll just slowly walk towards you and then maybe suddenly pull out Wicked Weave. Alright, so a strategy for Jeanne. It is a bit hard for me to articulate what a good strategy is for her because she is a pretty good AI. There are a couple of moves and weapons that will completely murder this woman. For example, I use it a lot here because the handguns obviously don't offer any Wicked Weaves, but she is particularly susceptible to a trip attack, so the punch, 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 kick, kick, kick attack is very good against her. And you do a decent amount of damage with each trip you do. When you're not being weird and playing with the handguns, good weapons on the feet to utilize the trip property would be either Kilgore or Fire Durga, because obviously if you hit a charge attack with those weapons then you will do a lot of damage. Let's see. On lower difficulties that aren't infinite climax, the best way to do damage to her is to try and get witch time off of her. So your best bet is to actually bait her into doing a move that will give you witch time. And you can do that either by dodging one of her Wicked Weaves or by parrying her attacks. And I think for most people it would be easier just to dodge Wicked Weaves. The trick is in trying to bait her to do it. The easiest way to do it is to get some distance between you and her, and she will usually follow up with a sword attack, which can either be the punch kick punch attack or a sword combo, the punch punch or just punch 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 attack. The problem with trying to bait her into giving you witch time though is that you have to be pretty aware of what combos will give you witch time for starters, and also what causes those moves to happen. So that kind of sucks. Alternatively, you can parry her moves, and you can get a perfect parry off of anything, as long as you're good enough. But it is a bit harder to do, but the payoff is much better because you get longer witch time. Another thing also when using weapons that have Wicked Weaves is that if you do manage to get a combo from her, say after witch time, and when witch time runs out you can do a couple of Wicked Weave stomps. And you can usually pull off about 2 or 3 of them before she's able to get back up. Yeah, if you manage to be skilled enough and you're doing this challenge for some reason, doing a perfect parry on her is a good way to do some fast damage. I did mention, however, that I do hate this section of the fight because of the camera. Though honestly, playing Metal Gear Revengeance has given me a newfound appreciation for the camera here. It's actually not that bad. One thing about those counters is, it seems really obvious to say, but the more you mash the button, the more damage you do. You can get up to 700, and I'm sure if you mash even harder, you can do possibly more than that. But you do more damage based on how much you mash the button. And that's my really generic advice on how to beat Jeanne. Things I will say about this fight in particular, using the handguns, there's only really a couple of ways you can do damage to her. If you have sustained punches and kicks, so you have bullets coming out, you can damage her that way, as long as she's not guarding them, because she can guard them. You can do those as well, but they're not really easy to pull off. You can try earning a lot of magic and then using Bracelet of Time, but that assumes you even have it in the first place. One thing I found while recording this is that sometimes she will get very Wicked Weave happy. Normally she'll only do about 2 or 3 in a row, but I did have times when she did about 5 in a row, and I dodged all of them except the last one, and I kind of felt like she wouldn't stop until she caught me. It was kind of interesting to see the AI, because I don't normally see that at all. Now there is a reason why I'm staying around this fountain area here. I find that fighting on the waterfall is actually a lot more difficult, and her behaviour actually is a lot more hard to read. So here I'm sticking to the back here and just trying to bait her into running towards me. Now, as her health gets lower, and when she does a counter, sometimes she'll do a double whammy, which makes it all the more dramatic, of course. Now, I find that she will only normally do a fist one, but apparently she can do that for the leg one as well, but I have never seen it. And that's in all my probably 300-400 hours of playing this game. Oh yes, there was one very hairy moment when I was recording this. There's one move that always gets me with this, or any Jeanne really, is that a lot of the time she will catch me with an uppercut Wicked Weave. And I cannot count the number of times that she has ruined a recording because of that. And it's coming up here a little bit, in a little bit. And by some miracle I actually managed to block it. That there. Oh my god. I cannot describe the feeling that I somehow managed to block that. I actually have no clue how to block uppercuts at all, like which way you were meant to push the analog stick. But I don't care, because this is it. I really wish I could express, like, the elation I felt when I finally got that pure platinum. But this will have to do. Oh my god. I swear to god, when I finally got that recording, I just jumped up and screamed a little bit. It took a while, I'll just say that much. And you have to excuse me, I do pause a little bit on the results screen a little bit too long. It just was so happy with that. And from here, guys, we have 3 more updates to go. I'm pretty excited. So, thank you guys for watching this pretty long episode, and I will see you guys next time.